nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all. It's your buddy Big Johnny G, the Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. What's up, everyone? Thank you so much for joining me here on Thursday. You know, Thursdays we like to mix it up. We have a few different shows we drop on this day of the week, because every day of the week we drop a brand new video. 365 days a year, my friends! We don't take a day off, not even on leap year day. Thank you for joining me here, because today, my friends, we are going to do a two-gun review. And this is a game that was sent to me by the publisher. It was sent to me a few years ago, actually. I got the original, the core set of this, sent to me by the publisher. And now, just recently, an updated expansion has made its way here. So I just want to be upfront about that. So we were given this game specifically to do showcase videos by the publisher. And what publisher was that? Black Oak Games. And the title that we are going to be talking about, that I am going to tell you what I think about it and why, is Not Dice Squared. So why don't you join me down the table and I'll tell you all about this great dice game. Not Dice Squared by Black Oak Games. Alright, so first of all, this isn't quite a standalone. You do need the base game of Not Dice, because it incorporates some of the dice from, we have to incorporate one of the designs from this into this. But hey, together, they complement each other so well. It just makes the game even more beautiful. But let's talk about Not Dice Squared, which is still the latest title by Black Oak Games in the Not Dice line. So first of all, the packaging, right? We always start with the packaging, and just like the first game, Black Oak Games and the game designer Matthew O'Malley realized they were smart enough to know that this is an artistic game and that you need to show that off with more than just a picture. So the idea that they have this plastic window to show exactly what it looks like, I think was absolutely brilliant. I think this is a great packaging. I think it's great for showing the game off and letting people see exactly what it is that they're going to be getting in this title. The box itself, as you'll see in a moment when I open it, is quite sturdy. It's a good shaped box. I've played the heck out of the original, and the box is still in fairly good condition, so that says a lot. And the back has a basic enough write-up. I mean, there's really not a lot to say, because this is a game of creating art, not of really telling grand adventures. So I think they did a good job, maybe not a great job, but a good job at the very least, with the back cover design. I mean, really, what else could they have done? So now, opening it up. Now, I've already been through this, I've already used this, and this is just the design pattern I left in here. But yeah, this is how the game is going to look. You get counters for scoring in some of the games, and these are just standard wooden little tokens, like so. They do their job well enough. They have a nice little design on them, so they're okay. Now, when you get the dice out, and it's the same way with the core game. They keep the rules underneath so as to not block the packaging. I think that's brilliant. That's great that they did that. I remember the very first time I opened this up, I thought they forgot to put a rule book in it. So this is good. So yeah, there are 2 rule books. There are 2 rule books, as you see here, because there are 2 different ways that the game can be played. So the game can be played as regular games, and I'll go over both of these in detail in a moment. Regular sort of standard games, and the other are puzzles that you have to solve. I actually think the puzzles are harder than the game, but it depends on which puzzle and which game you're talking about, because there are choices. So now, why don't we talk about how this works? Now, the first thing I'd like to point out is that in Not Dice Squared, there are 3 new types of dice that you're going to find in the game. You're going to find the squared dice, you're going to find the rounded dice, and you're going to find the bridge dice. And each one of these dice has these specific 6 symbols on them, or parts of the knot design, that you're going to be able to use to build or puzzle together whatever it is you're doing. Now, in most cases, you are going to be using from the original set, you're going to be using the crossed set that you'll import out from the original and add that into the game. Generally speaking, the many different games that you are going to find throughout the game booklet of Squared or the original, they do have nuances and differences, but there are also some things that transport across all of the different systems and types of game that you can play. So we're going to generally talk about that at first, the placement and movement of dice. Many times you're asked to take dice from a pool. So if you're given instructions to take 4 dice, then you can form your own pool. You have to roll them first. And you're going to have to work with what you get, like so. Now, each of the games, as I said, are different, and they're going to impose slightly different rules. Use less, use more. But to get the general idea, when you're working with the dice, now you already have something out, like let's say this here is the base die to start with, and here is your pool that you've drawn and rolled. So you can only use these dice. You can't flip them, you can't turn them, or you can spin them, is generally speaking all you can do. So you're gonna have to find one of these dice to match it up. Now when you match up dice, that's not gonna work because there's no connection. That's not gonna work because there's no connection. This, however, would. You would also have the opportunity to place it here or here. But no dice can connect here because there's no place to connect to. And then during the course of the game, generally speaking, you're each going to continue to add a die to your pool and then choose one that you're going to move on with. And this is going to go back and forth until things are done, finished, closed off, or otherwise ended, or no dice are left. Now, most of the games, you're going to be discarding dice that you can't use, but some of them you're going to be building up. Now, games like the Abbey from the original game are going to be building up. And when you do that, you roll your dice and you figure out how you're going to use this. This is going to need to connect either up or to the side. You can spin the die, but you can't flip the die. You can place it either or. That. connect it up. That's nice, actually. That looks cool. The original core game had a game book with about 12 games in it that you were able to run through, and with the new Not Dice Squared, it allows even more replayability over those games. Now, the new one has about 8 or 9 new games that specifically use the new squared dice, and they each have their own slightly different rules, their own little setup, win conditions, even number of players, and game time. So honestly, I mean, the replayability of this game is uncountable. It honestly really is. So you have fun designing these beautiful pieces of art, and it's going to be different every single time, both gameplay wise as well as the art you end up creating. There are several types of puzzles that you can play, such as the completion puzzles, and they have their own specific rules as well. So in these games, you can swap or you can translate. So swapping means that you are literally going to be swapping the locations of 2 dice on the outside edge without changing the orientation. So this, the outside edge, so you can swap them, sort of interpose them, if you will. And you can do that with any dice on the edge, like so. As long as you don't change their orientation or their facing. Now, the other thing you can do is to translate. Now, this works with one of the outside rows. And the way you do that is you can interpose them. Again, without changing the positions. You can get to alter them and move them. And you're going to be using these 2 techniques of swapping and translating to try to complete the puzzle. And then, boom, there you go eventually. So the puzzles are very engaging. They're going to take some time to figure out, and they're going to give you a good time. And you're going to create something really nice, and you're going to see yourself actually making this along the way, and then the finished product. And I really love that. Overall, this game has high marks for me on everything. Everything from the way the game plays, to the way the game looks, to the components themselves. There's not one aspect of this game that does not make you think of, well, Celtic knot artwork. I mean, that's really all it is. And to present it in such a way between games and puzzles in such a way is absolutely amazing. Now, I personally don't think there's enough games on the market in the category of Celtic history, mythology, anything like that, anything Celtic at all is not enough. So when you have something like this on the market, it is automatically in a very small category, so it helps it stand out, I think, some. Now, the fact that they've done so much work, that Matthew O'Malley and Black Oak Games has done such amazing work on the detail of these dice, I applaud, absolutely applaud. This is a great game, but this is also a great not game. And I mean that N-O-T. Play on words here. This is a great not game, because this is the kind of game that you can own, you can buy, and it's going to attract attention. Your friends, your family, people that come over that aren't gamers are automatically going to be drawn to this. This game becomes a conversation piece that in itself will then turn into a game, because you don't have to be a gamer at all to enjoy this. This is one of the ultimate gateway games, I think. Because of that, you just want to sit and look at these beautiful pieces and make this and so many more countless amounts of beautiful Celtic knotwork. It is entrancing. This game definitely does grab your eyes and hypnotizes you. I love this game. I'm so glad that there's Not Dice Squared to go along with the original Not Dice. There's also a Not Dice Deluxe, which doubles the amount of dice in the base Not Dice game, in the core one. And I think that also comes with a nice little satchel bag for the dice as well. But really, all you need at its core is the base and squared, and wow, you are going to have literally endless amounts of fun with this game. Nothing is ever going to be the same. This is going to be more than a game. You can lay this out on the table like a conversation piece, or like a coffee table book, or just not even just a box. Just do something like this. Just make a little design and lay it out. It looks really nice. This is like a puzzle that you can keep doing, and it will always be different. Oh, beautiful. So obviously you can tell this, just like the original, gets high praise from me. This is definitely a game that you and non-gamers, gamers and non-gamers alike, should definitely have on their shelf. It doesn't take up a lot of space. And hey, like, remember I said there's not a lot of games about Celtic history or Celtic mythology? Well, St. Paddy's Day, this will make a perfect game for you, your family, your friends, your gamers. It really will. So thank you for joining me here to hear me tell you about Not Dice Squared by Black Oak Games. I'm your buddy Big John and G for Two Gun Pixie Presents Legendary Gaming. And my friends, I am out of here.